Hey guys, welcome to Getting Started with Frostgrave. This is just going to be an initial purchase that I did to get into Frostgrave and give you some idea what you need to start. Now this is obviously not for the new player because I expect you to have some things like paint and a place to play and that kind of thing. But this is the initial purchase for the miniatures and the rule set to which I got going with. So initially I looked at buying the rulebook, which is basically £15. So this is all early 2017, just in case the prices have changed when I'm doing this. So rulebook was £15. Frostgrave Soldier box set was £20. That gives you like 20 Frostgrave soldiers. The Wizard and Apprentice is £6. So the initial purchase was £40.99 plus post and packaging, which wasn't bad at all. And I bought all of this originally from North Dar themselves. So as you can see here, I've got my wizard. This is my main guy. He's an enchanter. You see I've put him on MDF bases. Not necessary. You do get plastic bases in the box set, so you have 20 plastic bases to work with. Obviously you've got extras from that. You might later want to get MDF bases or other plastic bases for all of that, but for me, I'd like everyone being on the same, so they all get to be on MDF bases. And as you can see, all I've done is put some filler on there just to take out the gradient leading to that big chunky base that they normally have. So just a quick chat about the rulebook itself. £15, you're getting a hardback full colour rulebook. It's absolutely fantastic for the price and has a good game system in it as well, so well worth getting your hands on. And as you can see here, this is just my apprentice. It goes along with my wizard. £6 for two metal figures. Love it. The nice scale as well. Slightly smaller 28s than you'd imagine for like Games Workshop, which are what, 32 now. So I'll have to try and remember in the future on my blog, maybe do some comparisons pictures just so you can see what kind of scale these guys come out at. So the plastic box set has plenty of bits and pieces in it. These are the first two I picked up and wanted to put together. It's a treasure hunter and a thief. Downside with a thief, I found it was quite not many options for him to be able to hold this like swag bag that he has on the back there over his arm. But I've used the archer hand there and just bent them a bit, and yeah, that works a treat, and I think they look alright. You can also see on the base there, I'm starting to put down pretend paving. That's just cereal box card. If you follow any of my videos, not even necessarily still, but actually I think this actually is one of the tabs of the Frostgrave Soldier box you can see in the background there. I just cut up, engraved with some markings just to show cracks and that, and then later on I'll sand it up, but I'll go through that with you in a minute. So these guys are all straight out of the box. I'm not doing any converting with them. Some of the bits can be a bit fiddly, but everything is, as I say, straight out of the box. The guys previously had ropes and backpacks added to them, just to make them look a bit more like treasure hunters and thugs. Treasure hunters and thieves. In this case, I've got a thug and an infantryman, and I really love these halberds. I think I'll get a couple of these guys. Yeah, they look nice and menacing, which is just what you want with a halberd, really. And finally, just to add to my starting warbands and range, I've gone through a couple of archers here. Again, nothing added, just a couple of quivers, just carrying the arrows there for the bows. That's about it, really. So the plastic sets are awesome, and it's a great way to get started. I'm going to do a proper review on the plastic box set, just so you can see what's in it and what you get involved. But now I'm just going to go over what I did to paint my initial guys, give you a rough rundown on what, just what I did and what's involved. So here you can see I have based these guys up. I've just used filler to take out the tall edge so it doesn't have such a step in it, and then I've just added some cardboard flagstones with some creases done, with a pen or whatever you like. Just put onto them just to make them a bit more stony, and then I just sanded them up. Okay, after that I then undercoated them. I've used black. Now I really wish I don't use black because I like using kind of light colours, but I'm not a big fan of white either because it always seems blotchy when I paint it. So I'm using black at the moment because I've got loads of black, but I know Army Painter do like a brown, fur brown or something. That's probably what I'll be going for in the future once I'm run out of black, is start spraying things brown. But as you see from my painting technique, I don't use the undercoat at all for shading. It is literally just as the primer for the model. Sorry, some of these pictures are a bit blurry because they're just done in the evening and quickly as I could. So now I'm just block colouring these miniatures. I mean, they don't look fantastic, but make sure, what I'm trying to do is do several coats, thin coats, make sure they're not patchy or anything, As you can see there, the thief's yellowish desert yellow scarf he's got there, still a bit black in areas. So I'll be going over these guys again, but that just gives me a starting point of my colours, and then I'll build up from there. Okay, so once I've painted them, I'm happy how solid the colours look. I then just give them a wash of Army Painter Strong Tone, I believe it's called. I do this with a brush. This is not a dip. I wouldn't trust a dip. So I just brush it on, and once I'm happy with that, I let it dry off. And for me, once it's dry, it should look something like this. And for me, this is where the boring bit ends, and I get to enjoy it, because now I use the same colours that I've already used, but use them as a base coat now, leaving the shading in, and then build up using either a white or like a bleach bone for each of the colours. So as you can see here, I'm starting to build up the colours. I think I've only got shoes to do here, also his belt I believe, but I've just used literally the same colour, adding, let's say, white or bleach bone, just to bring it a bit more brighter on the edges. And the result I'm quite happy with. Gives them a slightly muddy look, which I think is fantastic for Frostgrave, and it's relatively easy. So once I've painted him, finished all the highlights with him, I then paint the base, starting with a dark brown, and then a dark grey of that, and then highlighting my grey. And as you can see, the result's quite nice. This has also been finished with a Army Painter anti-shine spray, which kind of blends the colours back together again, and I think it looks fine. It's enough for me anyway. All I've got to do now is flock them up and put some static grass and a bit of snow on there. And these are my first two finished. That's what I'm going to leave it with. So you can see I've just flocked and snowed the bases, and yeah, I'm quite happy with these guys. The next thing I'm going to have a look at is part of the game is you also need to have treasure tokens. Now North Star actually sell treasure tokens. You can get a pack of 6, but I'm going to make some treasure tokens using MDF bases. But again, if I count up all the guys I've made so far, I've made, what, 6 warriors, the wizard and that, so that's 8. So I've got plenty of bases actually left over in the starter box set. If you don't want to use a plastic bases in there, you could also just use the same card that I'm going to be using for the tops, you know, the packaging card that these guys came in. Draw around a base, cut it out, probably do 2 layers, PVA in between, let it dry, and go from there. So starting my treasures, I've got my 6 bases, and again I just carried on with the flagstone idea, and I'll do this and then sand them. So you can see them sand on the left hand side there. And now I'm just looking through the sprue and seeing what I can use as treasures. So I've got the swag bag, there's a little tub of thing of scrolls, little bag of scrolls, a shield, magic helmet, and I've got these 2, I assume they're bolt pouches, but they'll do nicely. But because they look a bit bland just by themselves, I've also cut up a torch to make coins, and I'll show you in a sec. So as you can see, I'm just using a sharp knife to cut little sections to be gold coins. As see, using the torch, I'm cutting into blue tack. If you sit it on blue tack, it just stops the little bits from flying off. They'll all just sit there nicely for you. Then it's just a case of super gluing them down to the base. The big piles of gold coins, I use PVA glue for most of them, just using a knife point to try and get the coins in the right place. Once it's all dry, I can then undercoat it and paint it up. And there they are, all painted. Do you know what? I'm quite happy with those. I'll be using those for my games in the future when I do some battle reports. As I say, all came in the original box set, all for just over £41 plus postage. It was a great start to the game. You got a hardback book, you got 20 soldiers, you got your wizard, and you've even got your treasure tokens. All you need now is your 20-sided dice, a table to play on, and you're well away. So I hope that helps you guys out and helps you get started into Frostgrave. It's a game well worth playing, and I'm sure I've got some battle reports coming soon. Take care. Hey guys, so it's giveaway time, and what have I got to give away and how you can win it? Right, first of all, this will be given away on the 40th Saga Battle Report. I've changed how I'm originally going to do it, and that's what I'm going for now. I'll type in the comment section hail, and the first, say, 20 people to reply, Ragnar, will be put into a draw. I'll roll a d20 and someone will randomly win. And what I've got to offer here is from Griffin Beast. Many thanks to them. We have the Saga rulebook, along with the 4 battle boards included, which is the Welsh, Norman, Viking and Anglo-Danish, and also 2 lots of dice. We have the Crusader dice there, and the Viking dice as well. And on top of that, I've also chucked in 4 Berserkers that I've painted up as well. So hope that's of use to you, and I hope you're up for that. So I'll see you on the 40th episode. As always guys, thanks for watching, thanks for the support, and I'll see you next time. Farewell.